Okay, so in this video, we will be learning the procurement cycle into SAP materials management. And this is very, very important. That's because mostly there would be questions asked from this topic also when it comes to interview. So every organization, if at all, let's say, for example, they ask you that what do you mean by procurement into SAP materials management? Your answer should be every organization acquires materials or services to complete its business need. The process of buying materials and obtaining services from vendors or dealers is called procurement. Procurement should be done in such a way that materials are ordered in correct quantity with a proper value at the proper time. Now, this procurement process into SAP MM has been divided into two parts. First is basic procurement. Basic procurement, then second is special procurement. Special procurement, I'll teach you once we complete the basic procurement. First, let us learn the basic procurement. Now, basic procurement is a process of acquiring goods or services in the right quantity, at the right price, and at the right time. However, it is critical to maintain a right balance between quantity, price, and time. For examples, for example, I would say that organizations try and keep inventory levels at a minimum due to the prices associated with high levels of inventory. At the same time, it can be detrimental, you can say, to stop production due to shortage of raw materials. Getting the minimum price for a product or service is often necessary. However, it is equally important to maintain a balance between the product availability, quality, and vendor. Vendor means a seller or supplier, vendor relations, you can say. Now, there are certain stages, okay, into procurement. First of all, let us learn those particular stages or activities involved in the basic procurement. First, you can say that the first stage or first activity, you can say requirement information gathering. The procurement process starts with gathering information about a product and its quantity. Then, for the required products and services, it is necessary to look for suppliers who can satisfy the requirements. This is the first stage. This is the first stage. Okay. The first activity, you can say it is the first stage into procurement, or the first activity into procurement is nothing but determination of requirements. In this, a procurement executive or a purchasing executive has to understand that what materials or services are required. Now, it is very simple to identify what services or materials are required. Why? Because let's say, for example, if you are working as an engineer, okay, let's say, for example, you are working as an engineer, or a manager of any plant, or let's say any plant or any department company. Let's say, for example, if you require, let's say, certain materials, like materials, for example, let's say you require 10 laptops. So you being the engineer or a manager of a plant or any department of a company, you will not be authorized to contact the vendors. Why? Because you are not into the procurement department. Only the purchasing executives will have, or they have, the authority to contact vendors. Why? Because their job is to procure each and everything that the company needs. Right from, you can say, a needle to a biggest machinery. The procurement department is authorized to procure right from a needle to a biggest machinery that a company needs. So this determination of requirements, in this determination of requirements, as this engineer or a manager of a plant or a company is not authorized to contact the vendors. So this engineer or a manager of any plant or department of a company will contact you by sending his requirement, that is 10 laptops. That requirement is known as a purchase requisition. I repeat, it's known as a purchase requisition. Interview, you have to answer. If they ask you what is a purchase requisition, you have to answer in this way. It's a form or an electronic transmission used to inform the purchasing department that an item or service is needed for business purpose. What is a purchase requisition? It's a form or an electronic transmission used to inform the purchasing department that an item or service is needed for a business purpose. This purchase requisition, I'll show to you now, contain certain things. For example, it will contain the, let's say, material number, or let's say, for example, the product number or the part code or the description of the product, in which quantity it is required, in how much quantity it's required, sorry. Okay. And this purchase requisition can be sent by the by anybody, by the engineer or the manager or any authorized person of a plant or any department of a company, via email, fax, or you can say EDE, electronic data exchange services, or sometimes in small companies they use company Skype to communicate. or company WhatsApp also in small companies. The purchase requisition will contain the material, short text, quantity of a material, unit of measure, delivery date, material group, plant, storage location, purchasing group. These details I'll show it to you later when we do the practicals. But right now, just remember that the purchase requisition, the main contents of the purchase requisition are material, the short text of the material, that is a description, quantity, and the unit of measure. You can say, and the delivery date. So this purchase requisition can be emailed to you, can be faxed to you, can be sent to you via an electronic data exchange, or can be sent to you via Skype or WhatsApp, company Skype or company WhatsApp. It depends on the company policy, what tool they are providing you to use to communicate with each other, to communicate with different departments of the company. Sometimes the company also provides a tool into SAP Easy Access software that is known as the SAP Business Workplace. It is nothing but it's like an email program, just like your Outlook, Outlook Express, Entourage, Macmail, etc. You can say in common words, it's just like your Yahoo or Gmail that contains an inbox, outbox, and all the different folders that allows you to send and receive emails, communicate with the other departments of the company. Now, it's not necessary that the department that requires this 10 laptops, okay, will have SAP implemented in their department. They might not have SAP into their department, so they might send you the requirement in just a plain email. For example, uh, let's say like this requirement, HP laptops with 1 TB and let's say iCore 3, okay, 1 TB hard drive, iCore 3 processor, and the quantity will be 10 quantity, and the delivery date. It will be just a plain email coming into your inbox sometimes. So that depends on the company. Now, you have received this purchase requisition. A purchase requisition is what? A purchase requisition, as I explained, okay, you have determined this requirement of 10 laptops now, okay, from this XYZ department of a company. Now you have received the purchase requisition. Sometimes if you receive a plain email, you have to enter the purchase requisition as per the requirement. Now the requirement of this plant of a company, for example, is HP laptops, 1 TB hard drive, iCore 3 processor, 10 quantity with the so and so is the delivery date. Let's say is delivery date. So you'll have to enter this purchase requisition into the SAP system by using the T code ME51N. What is a purchase requisition? You can say that it's a form or an electronic transmission used to inform the purchasing department that certain items or services are needed for business purpose. Then the second question on purchase requisition would be, is it an internal purchasing document or an external purchasing document? You should say that a purchase requisition is an internal purchasing document. Why? That is because it is sent to the internal department of a company, that is the purchasing department. That is the purchasing department, and not to the external vendors. You will, for you have, let's say for example, you have received the purchase requisition from the XYZ plant of a company. I would say that as per our enterprise structure, for this client, Royce and the company Royce Group of Companies, we have received a purchase requisition for RC M1 plant from RC M1 plant, okay, for 10 laptops. The purchase requisition is from RC M1 plant for 10 laptops. So now we will forward, or you being into the purchasing department of a company, we will forward this purchase requisition to different vendors. First of all, you will check which vendors supply those laptops to you. How you will check? By checking your vendor master records. By pulling the vendor master record as per the material, you will check which vendors supply you those laptops. Let's say, for example, you identify these vendors. They're supplying laptops. So you will forward this purchasing requisition this purchase requisition to these vendors in the form of one external purchasing document that is known as a request or quotation, also known as RFQ in short. Why this request for quotation is an external purchasing document, and why this purchase requisition is an internal purchasing document? Purchase requisition is an internal purchasing document. That's because it is sent to an internal department of a company, that is the purchasing department of a company. Request for quotation is an external purchasing document. That is because it is sent to the external vendors of the company. Now let's say I received this purchase requisition. Okay. I received an email into my, let's say, for example, the SAP Business Workplace. I'll show to you the SAP Business Workplace over here. It is nothing but it's just a replica of your email client, which helps you to communicate with different departments of the company via emails. It's just like your Outlook, Outlook Express, Entourage, Macmail, these email clients. Or you can say the common example is your Yahoo Mail or your Gmail. I'll just show it to you. Wait. See, this is your SAP Business Workplace. It contains an inbox, outbox, folders for resubmission of emails, private folders, shared folders, trash, shared to trash, new message option, find folders, find document, that means find emails or other attached documents, appointment calendar to fix an appointment, distribution list, so on. So now let's say you have received a purchase requisition to the SAP Business Workplace in the form of a plain email. So you enter that purchase requisition now with the help of the T code ME51N. I'll show you the menu path over here. Go to logistics. Under logistics, you'll have material management. Materials management is always under logistics because materials management is a functional area under logistics. Then go to purchasing. Then go to purchase requisition. The T code ME51 is used to create the purchase requisition. ME51N is used to create the purchase requisition. ME52N is used to change the purchase requisition. ME53N is used to display the purchase requisition. So now the first step or the first activity that will perform into the purchasing cycle or the procurement cycle is to create a purchase requisition. ME51N, you can type it in the command bar also over here, or you can double click it if you have it into your folder. Okay, let's say I have the material already created. Shall be using this only thoroughly. This is the material. I'll just copy and paste it, hit enter. Okay, over here, if you see document type, this field, the document type always has to be purchase requisition standard because we are doing the basics right now. In the next lecture, in the next video, I'll show how to create these purchasing documents, purchase requisition document, and so on. This is known as a purchase requisition box. This is a document overview. If you just turn it on, and also the purchase requisition screen has been divided into 3 sub-screens. This is the header screen, first screen. This is the item overview screen. This is the item detail screen. The item detail screen automatically populates this screen. Item detail screen automatically populates when you enter the data in the item overview screen. This is the header screen. This is known as the document overview. In this document overview, you can select your documents created. For example, if I click on my purchase requisition, it will show me my purchase requisitions that I created. For example, this is the last purchase requisition that I created, so it's showing up over here. So now I have entered the material. I hit enter. System is saying enter the quantity. Okay. Now in the status bar at the bottom, it's saying enter plant. You see over here, enter plant. Plant is our CM1, which we are using for the enterprise structure. Now, if you see step by step, the data will automatically populate in this item detail screen as we enter the data in the item overview screen. This is known as the item overview screen, this screen, where we enter the material, quantity, and plant. Don't worry about this 000 after the comma. The quantity is 10. It's not 10,000. See now, as soon as I entered, as soon as I entered the plant, the system took the material group automatically from the material master record. The system took the purchasing group automatically from the enterprise structure. The system took the unit of measure automatically from the material master. System took the date. By default, you can put your date. Okay, you can put your date. I mean the date on whichever date your any department, or I mean this plant of your company or any department of your company requires the material. Okay, this is the date category. Okay, date category is nothing but whether you want the date into day format or month format or a week format. See, I choose D format. That's D, day format. Now, if you see over here, I entered this material in the item overview screen, in the item details screen, automatically in the material data, the material number, short text of the material group automatically popped up over here. Quantities / dates, you will see the quantity that you entered in the item overview screen. It's there, quantity. It says open quantity right now. Why? That's because the order is not fulfilled yet. That means we haven't received the goods from the vendor yet. We are still searching for the vendors to send this purchase requisition to the vendors in the form of an external purchasing document known as request for quotation. Go to valuation tab. In valuation tab, you will see the valuation price. Valuation price and valuation price per unit, per piece, and the total value. How the system took the valuation price? It's from the material master record. Source of supply. Source of supply, you can assign it when you have the source list, or source of supply you can assign when you do an automatic PO. That's a different topic which I'll be showing you later. Go to status. Nothing over here. Procurement status, it says not edited. Block ID, it says it's the purchase requisition is not blocked. Ordered quantity is 0. Contact person. How did the system take this information? Contact person, creation indicator, requisitioner, purchasing group, sorry, telephone number, and the fax number from the vendor master record. Any special texts? Nothing. You can mention over here if you want. Delivery address. Royce Group of Companies. ABC Street, 1232. Country, AR. Postal code, 1232. ABC Street, house number, that means the shop number is 12. From where this data the system took? The system took this data from the enterprise structure when we defined the company, that's Royce Group of Companies. Now, the purchase requisition data entry is complete. So before we send it now, or before we save it, sorry, in the system, we will click on check this button. You can also use, or you can also hit Control Shift and F3. Check it. It has to display a message in the status bar at the bottom of the screen that no messages issued in green. When the system gives you that message, that means we are good to go. We can post this purchase requisition. See, no messages issued during the check. That means we're good to go. So now post it. To post the purchase requisition, click Save. this button over here, or you can hit Control S. Now, as soon as you save the purchase requisition, the system will issue you a purchase requisition number. That means a number range, just like a vendor, just like for the vendor master record, purchase material master record, purchasing info records, the system gave us the number range. So in the same way, a purchase requisition number will be created by the system. C 113,643. 113,643. 643.